Hello students, let's have our online science class. And we completed the chapters for our first term examination, and our first term examination will be start from 10th August, and we already started our revision of our chapters for science, and today I'll revise the chapter 4, Skeletal and Nervous System. So I hope you all read the chapter thoroughly, and as I discussed in my previous classes, the chapter is quite, you know that the chapter is, you understood the chapter very well. Now I'm telling you again about the main points of this chapter. Our body is made up of many organs. The lungs, kidney, heart and brain are the vital organs of the body. Many organs together perform a particular function and are called the organ system. And the important organs and functions of these organ systems are given in the table. Now we will look at the table. So here is a table. You can see systems, organs and functions. Respiratory system. Organs are lungs, nasal passages, bronchi, pharynx, trachea, diaphragm, bronchial tubes, and functions are intake of oxygen and removal of carbon dioxide from the body. And the nervous systems, in the nervous system, the organs are spinal cord, brain, nerve, skin, eyes, ears, tongue and nose. And the function is control of body activities and the reaction to stimuli. That means stimuli means any change in the surrounding environment. Next is digestive system, and the organs included are stomach, liver, teeth, tongue, pancreas, intestines, esophagus, rectum, anus. And functions of the digestive system are breakdown of food and absorption for use and energy. Excretory system. Organs included are kidneys, bladder, uterus, skin. And functions are remove wastes from the body to outside and controls water and salt balance. Next is endocrine system. Organs included pituitary gland, adrenal gland, thyroid gland, gonads. And functions are production of hormones and regulation of body functions. Next is skeletal and muscular system, and organs included bones and muscles, and functions are protection of delicate body organs and movement. Circulatory system included organs are blood vessels, heart, lymph, and function transport of nutrients, metabolic wastes, water, salts and disease fighting cells. And the integumentary system, and the organ is skin. It helps us to protection of body from injury and bacteria, maintenance of tissue moisture, holds receptors for stimuli response, body heat regulation, that means sweating. So you have to read this part very carefully, because as our exam will be, the questions of our exam will be MCQ type. So from each and every line you should read thoroughly, because from each and every line there should maybe questions. Okay. Next, let us read the skeletal system. Okay. An adult human being has 206 bones in the body, which form the skeletal system. You can see here the skeletal system, the human skeletal system. And firstly, skull. Actually, there are 22 bones in the skull which protect the most important organ, that is the brain. Okay. Next, ribs. There is a cage of bones around the chest which is called the rib cage, which protects the heart and lungs, and made up of 12 pairs of thin curved bones which are attached to the backbone at the back and a float bone called sternum in the front. Okay. Next is backbone. A series of small bones form the backbone of human body, and these are called the vertebra or the vertebral column. The skull attached to the spine or the backbone through these vertebrae. Next is limbs. Humans have two pairs of limbs, the forelimbs which constitute our arms and the hind limbs which constitute our legs. The arm is made up of two parts, the upper arm which has one long bone called the humerus, and the lower arm which has two bones, radius and ulna. The hind limbs or our legs are also made up of two parts, the upper leg and the lower leg, and joined together at the knees. Okay. Femur is the longest bone in our body. The long bones are hollow and have a soft and fatty substance in them that is called as bone marrow. Next are joints. The meeting point of bones is called a joint, and the joints help us to bend, twist and turn. A joint has strong tissues called ligaments. And there are two types of joints, movable and immovable. The joints that help in the movement of our body called as movable joints. And there are 4 types of movable joints in our body. Firstly, hinge joint. It is like the hinge of the door and helps the bones to move in one direction. Elbows, knees, fingers and toes have hinge joint. Clear? The shoulder and hip region have the ball and socket joint. They allow movement in all directions. And pivot joint, which joins the skull to the backbone, that is pivot joint. It enables the head to move up, down and sideways. And gliding joint. This joint is found in the wrist and ankle. It allows us to bend, twist and turn. So these all are the movable joints. Now about immovable joints. The joints that cannot be moved called as immovable joints. The joint of the skull and the joints between the rib cage and the breastbone are immovable joints. So these are all about our bones and joints. Now muscles and movement. The soft and stretchy band of tissues are called muscles. There are more than 600 muscles in our body. Actually, muscles tighten and relax and help our joints in movement of our body. And the muscles are attached to the bones with a strong fiber, which is called as tendon. And different types of muscles there are in our body. Firstly, voluntary muscles. Our arm, neck, shoulder and legs have voluntary muscles as they are under our control. Muscles which help in our breathing movement of movement of food in the stomach and intestines and flow of blood. These are called as involuntary muscles. They are also known as smooth muscles actually. And cardiac muscles of the heart are called cardiac muscles. They pump blood to all the parts of our body and they are also involuntary in nature. Next is nervous system. The nervous system helps all the parts of our body to communicate with each other. The brain, the spinal cord and the nerves constitute our nervous system. Clear? Brain is the main organ of the nervous system. It sends and receives information from all parts of the body. There are three parts of the brain: cerebrum, cerebellum and medulla. Cerebrum is the largest and the main part of the brain, which controls our sense organs and is the center of intelligence. And cerebellum is an egg-shaped structure situated below the cerebrum. It enables the muscles, coordination and the balance of our body. Next is medulla. Medulla is also called as brain stem. The medulla is a stem-shaped structure which lies at the bottom of the brain. You can see in this picture. It controls and coordinates the movement of the involuntary muscles like breathing, heartbeat, etc. Spinal cord then. The thick cord that extends down from the brainstem to the lower end of the backbone is called the spinal cord. Okay, it is responsible for the transfer of information between the brain and the rest of the body. The long thread-like structure that carry messages from between the brain and the other parts of the body called as nerves. And in our body there are three kinds of nerves. These are sensory nerves, motor nerves and mixed nerves. Sensory nerves bring messages from the sense organ to the brain or the spinal cord. Motor nerves carry commands from the brain to the muscles of different organs. And mixed nerves are some nerves that carry messages from the brain to the muscles, as well as send messages from the sense organ to the brain, so that they are called as mixed nerves. Now, reflex action. Our body has some automatic response. For example, if we touch a hot or sharp object or boiling water, we withdraw our hand immediately. These actions are instant and does not involve the brain and are called as reflex action. Such actions are controlled by the spinal cord. The skin is the receptor organ. It sends the signals to the spinal cord and the spinal cord orders the muscles of the hand which act as an effector organ. Sense organ connect us to the world outside. We have 5 sense organs, eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin. Eyes are very important sense organs, and the different parts of eyes are eyelid, which covers our eyes when we sleep or blink, eyelashes that protect our eyes from the dust, pupil, it is the black circle that lets light into our eyes, iris is the colored part around the pupil. Cornea is the circular and transparent front portion of the eye that protects the pupil and iris. Next is retina, is the back of the eye where images are formed. Optic nerve is the nerve that connects the eyes to the brain. How we can care of our eyes? As eyes are delicate, we must wash our eyes by splashing water on them and make sure that when we reading, there must be proper light, and we should maintain a proper distance between eyes and a book. Do not watch too much of television, but whenever you watch, keep a distance of 6 feet from the television. Make sure never to use someone else's towel if he has eye infection. Now about ears. Ears help us to hear the sounds around us and also maintain our balance. How we can take care of our ears? Do not prick sharp objects in your ears. Do not let water enter into your ears. Now, nose is a prominent part of our face. We breathe and smell through the nose, and there are nerve endings on the upper part of the nose. And the nose always help us to smell. And how can we take care of the nose? Blow your nose to keep it clean. Do not put sharp object in your nose. Do some breathing exercise. Now tongue. The tongue enables us to taste the food and helps us to speak. There are tiny sensory structures on the tongue called as taste buds, which help us to distinguish the different tastes: sweet, sour, salty and bitter. How we can take care of our tongue? Clean your tongue with a tongue cleaner. Okay? So, skin is the outermost covering and the largest organ of our body. And there are pores on the surface of the skin which help the body waste to come out as sweat. The skin actually protects our internal organs. To take care of the skin, take a bath regularly with soap and clean water to remove the dirt from the body. Wear clean clothes. Wear dark colored clothes in winters and light colored clothes in summer. Use an antiseptic cream if there is a cut or scratch on the skin. So in this way we can take care of our sense organs, and we should take care of them actually. So this was the chapter. I hope the chapter is clear to you, and read the chapter very carefully and each and every line of this chapter. Okay. So obviously you read and memorize the objective type questions and question answers which I gave my online classes through my online classes. Okay, so this much for today, and you all take care of yourself. Bye till my next class.